Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Magnanatimirandasya Gyananjanachalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Darati Swaparantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Tapatakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganaragunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवारि पाशद्दैर्यशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासारि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरिबो Welcome to reading session, Prabhu. Okay, Haribo. Chapter 9, The Story of King Nriga.
Haribo.
Haribo. How many pages is this? Once the family members of Lord Krishna, such as Samba, Pradyumna, Charubanu, and Gada, all princes of the Yadu dynasty, went for a long picnic in the forest near Dwaraka. In the course of their excursion, all of them became thirsty, and so they began to try to find out where water was available in the forest. When they approached a well, they found that there was no water in it, but on the contrary, within the well was a wonderful living entity. It was a large lizard, and all of them became astonished to see such a wonderful animal. They could understand that the animal was trapped and could not escape by its own efforts, so out of compassion they tried to take the large lizard out of the well. Unfortunately, they could not get the lizard out, even though they tried to do so in many ways. When the princes returned home, their story was narrated before Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is the friend of all living entities. Therefore, after hearing the appeal from his sons, he personally went to the well and easily got the lizard out simply by extending his left hand. Immediately upon being touched by the hand of Lord Krishna, that great lizard gave up its former shape and appeared as a beautiful demigod, an inhabitant of the heavenly planets. His bodily complexion glittered like molten gold. He was decorated with fine garments, and he wore costly ornaments around his neck. How the demigod had been obliged to accept the body of a lizard was not a secret to Lord Krishna, but still for others' information the Lord inquired, My dear fortunate demigod, now I see that your body is so beautiful and lustrous. Who are you? How can we can guess that you are one of the best demigods in the heavenly planets? All good fortune to you. I think that you are not meant to be in this situation. It must be due to the result of your past activities that you have been put into the species of lizard life. Still, I want to hear from you how you were put in this position. If you think that you can disclose the secret, then please tell us your identity. Actually, this large lizard, was King Riga. Oh, Hare Krishna, Jai Prabhu, Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Jai Bhakti Das Prabhu, Dhanat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, the devotees, Dandat Pranam, Jai Prabhupada.
Welcome to hear about large lizard named King Riga.
Yes, Prabhu.
Haribo.
And when he was questioned by the Supreme Person of Godhead, he immediately bowed down before the Lord, touching to the ground the helmet on his head, which was as dazzling as the sunshine. In this way, he first of all offered his respectful obeisances unto the Lord, Supreme Lord. He then said, My dear Lord, I am the son of King Ikshvaku, and, and am King Riga. If you have ever taken account of all charitable disposed men, I am sure that you must have heard my name. My lord, you are the witness, you are aware of every bit of work done by the living entities, past, present, and future. Nothing can be hidden from your eternal cognizance. Still, you have ordered me to explain my history, and I shall therefore narrate the full story. King Riga proceeded to narrate the history of his degradation caused by his karmakanda activities. He was very charitably disposed, and had given away so many cows that he said the number was equal to the amount of dust on the earth, the stars in the sky, and the rainfall. According to the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies, as man who is charitably disposed is commanded to give cows to the Brahmanas, from King Riga's statement it appears that he followed this principle earnestly. However, as a result of a slight discrepancy in his action, he was forced to take birth as a lizard. Therefore, it is recommended by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita that one who is charitably disposed and desires to derive the benefit of his charity should offer his gifts to please Krishna. To give in charity means to perform pious activities. As a result of pious activities, one may be elevated to the higher planetary systems, but promotion to the heavenly planets is no guarantee that one will never fall down. Rather, from the example of King Riga, it is definitely proved that fruitive activities, even if they are very pious, cannot give us eternal blissful life. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, the result of work, either pious or impious, is sure to bind a man, unless it is discharged as yagna on behalf of the Supreme Person of Godhead. King Riga continued to say that the cows given in charity were not ordinary cows. Each one was very young and had given birth to only one calf. They were full of milk, very peaceful and healthy. All the cows were purchased with money that had been earned legally. Furthermore, their horns were gold-plated, their hooves were bedecked with silver plates, and they were covered with silken wrappers, which were embroidered with pearls and necklaces. He stated that these valuably decorated cows were not given to any wordless person, but were distributed to the first-class brahmanas, whom he had also decorated with nice garments and gold ornaments. The brahmanas were well qualified, none of them were rich, and their family members were always in want for the necessities of life. A real brahmana never hoards money for luxurious life, like the kshatriyas or the vaishyas, but always keeps himself in a poverty-stricken condition, knowing that money diverts the mind to materialistic ways of life. To live in this way is the vow of qualified brahmana, and all of these brahmanas were well situated in that exalted vow. They were well learned in Vedic knowledge. They executed their required austerities and penances in their lives and were liberal, meeting the standard of qualified brahmanas. They were equally friendly to everyone. Above all, they were young and quite fit to act as qualified Brahmanas. Besides the cows, they were also given land, coal, gold houses, horses, and elephants. Those who were not married were given wives, maidservants, grain, silver, utensils, garments, jewels, household furniture, chariots, etc. This charity was nicely performed as a sacrifice according to the Vedic rituals. The king also stated that not only had he bestowed gifts to the Brahmanas, but he had performed other pious activities such as digging a well, planting trees on the roadside, and installing ponds on the highways. The king continued, in spite of all this, unfortunately, one of the Brahmana's cows chanced to enter amongst my other cows. Not knowing this, I again gave it in charity to another Brahmana. As the cow was being taken away by the Brahmana, its former master claimed it as his own, stating, "This cow was formerly given to me, so how it is that you are taking it away?" Thus there was arguing and fighting between the two Brahmanas, and they came before me and charged that I had taken back a cow that I had previously given in charity. To give something to someone and then to take it away is considered a great sin, especially in dealing with a Brahmana. When both the Brahmanas charged the king with the same complaint, he was simply puzzled as to how it had happened. Thereafter, with great humility, the king offered each of them 100,000 cows in exchange for the one cow that was causing the fight between them. He prayed to them that he was their servant and that there had been some mistake. Thus, in order to rectify this, he prayed that they would be very kind upon him and accept his offering in exchange for the cows. The king fervently appealed to the Brahmanas not to cause his downfall into hell because of this mistake. A Brahmana's property is called Brahmasva, and according to Manu's law, it cannot be acquired even by the government. Both Brahmanas insisted that the cow was theirs and could not be taken back under any condition. Neither of them agreed to exchange it for the 100,000 cows. Thus, disagreeing with the king's proposal, both Brahmanas left the palace in anger, thinking that their lawful position had been usurped. Ribo, okay, who wants to continue? Tajad or Vivek Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Like, Bhaktas Prabhu, you can read. If not, I can. If you're busy, you can read. Maybe Bhaktas Prabhu is in busy, I think.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, you can read, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you so much.
Ribo.
After this incident, when the time came for the king to give up his body, he was taken before Yamaraja, the superintendent of death. Yamaraja asked him whether he wanted to first enjoy the results of his pious activities or first suffer the results of his impious activities. Yamaraja also hinted that since the king had executed so many pious activities and chariots, the limit of uh, Nrigha's enjoyment would be unknown to him. There was practically no end to the king's material happiness, but in spite of this hint, he was bewildered. He decided to first suffer the results of his impious activity and then to accept the results of his impious activities. Therefore, Imraja immediately turned him into a lizard. King Zalga had remained in a well as a big lizard for a long time. He told Lord Krishna, in spite of being put into the degraded condition of life, I simply thought of you, my dear Lord, and my memory was never vanquished. It appears from these statements of King Driga that persons who follow the principles of future activities and drive some material benefits are not very intelligent. That person who follows the principles of fruitive activities and derive some material benefits are not very intelligent. Being given the choice by the superintendent of death, Yamaraja, King Griga could have first accepted the results of his pious activities. Instead, he thought it would be better to first receive the effects of his impious activities and then to enjoy the effects of his pious activities without disturbance. On the whole, he had not developed Krishna consciousness. A Krishna consciousness person develops love of God, Krishna, not love for pious or impious activities. Therefore, he is not subjected to the results of such action, as stated in Brahma Samhita. A devotee, by the grace of the Lord, does not become subjected to the resultant reactions of future activities. Uh, some more. Some or other, as a result of his pious activities, King Riga had aspired to see the Lord. He continued to say, my dear Lord, I had a great desire that someday I might be able to see you personally. I think that my tendency to perform ritualistic and charitable activities, combined with this great desire to see you personally, has enabled me to retain the memory of who I was in my former life. Uh, even though I became a lizard, such a person who remembers his past life is called Jati Samara. My dear Lord, you are the super soul seated in everyone's heart. There are many great mystic yogis who have eyes to see you through the Vedas and Upanishads. In order to achieve the elevated positions of being equal in quality with you, they always meditate on you within their hearts. Although such exalted saintly persons may see you constantly within their hearts, they still cannot see you eye to eye. Therefore, I am very much surprised that I am able to see you personally. I know that I was engaged in so many activities, especially as a king. Although I was in the midst of luxurious and opulence and was subjected to so much of the happiness and the miseries of material existence, I am so fortunate to be seeing you personally. As far as I know, when one becomes liberated from material existence, he can see you in this way. When King Niga elected to receive the results of his impious activities, he was given the body of lizard because of the mistake in his pious activities. Those he thus he could not be directly converted to the higher status of life like a great demigod. However, along with his pious activities, he thought of Krishna, so he was quickly released from the body of a lizard and given the body of a demigod. By worshipping the Supreme Lord, those who desire material opulence are given the bodies of powerful demigods. Sometimes these demigods can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead eye to eye, but they are still not yet eligible to enter into the spiritual kingdom, the Vaikuntha planets. However, if the demigods continue to become devotees of the Lord, the next chance they get, they will enter into the Vaikuntha planets. Having attained the body of a demigod, King Briga, continuing to remember everything said, my dear Lord, you are the Supreme Lord and are worshipped by all the demigods. You are not one of the living entities, but you are the Supreme Person, Purushottama. You are the source of all happiness to all living entities. Therefore, you are now as Govinda. You are the Lord of those living entities who have accepted a material body and those who have not yet accepted a material body. Among the living entities who have not accepted a material body, or those who are hovering in the material world as evil spirits or living in the ghostly atmosphere. However, those who live in the spiritual kingdom, the Vaikuntha Lokas, have have bodies that are not made of material elements. You are my Lord, infallible. You are the supreme, the purest of all living entities. You are the living in everyone's heart. You are living in everyone's heart. You are the shelter of all living entities. Narayana, being seated in the heart of all living entities, you are the supreme director of everyone's sensual activities. Therefore, you are called Rishikesha, my dear Supreme Lord Krishna, because you have given me this body of a demigod. I will have to go to some heavenly planet. So I am taking this opportunity to beg for your mercy that I may have the benediction of never forgetting your lotus feet. No matter to which form of life or planet I may be transferred. You are all providing, present everywhere, has a cause and effect. You are the cause of all causes, and your potency and power are unlimited. You are the absolute truth, the supreme personality of Godhead, and the supreme Brahman. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you again and again. My dear Lord, your body is full of transcendental bliss and knowledge, and you are eternal. You are the master of all mystic powers. Therefore, you are known as Yogeshwara. Kindly accept me as insignificant dust at your lotus feet. Before entering the heavenly planets, King Niga circumambulated the Lord. He touched his helmet to the lotus feet of Lord and bowed before him. Seeing the airplane from the heavenly planets present before him, he was given permission by the Lord to board it. After the departure of King Niga, Lord Krishna expressed his appreciation for the king's devotion to the Brahmanas, as well as his charitable disposition and his performance of Vedic rituals. Therefore, it is recommended that if one cannot directly become a devotee of the Lord, one should follow the Vedic principles of life. This will enable him one day to see the Lord by being promoted neither directly to the spiritual kingdom or indirectly to the heavenly kingdom, where he has hope of being transferred to the spiritual planet. At this time, Lord Krishna was present among his relatives who were members of the Kshatriya class to teach them through the exemplary character of King Riga. He said, even though a Kshatriya king may be as powerful as fire, it is not possible for him to usurp the property of a Brahmana. Brahmana and utilize it for his own purpose. If this is so, how can ordinary kings who falsely think of himself as the most powerful being within the material Brahmana's property? I do not think that taking poison is as dangerous as taking a Brahmana's property. For an ordinary person, ordinary poison, there is treatment. One can be relieved from its effect. But if one drinks the poison of taking a Brahmana's property, there is no remedy for the mistake. The perfect example was the King Riga. He was a very powerful and very pious, but due to the small mistake of him unknowingly surpassing a Brahmana's cow, he was condemned to the abominable life of a lizard. Ordinary poison affects only those who drink it, and ordinary fire can be extinguished simply by pouring water on it. But the uh, Arani fire injected by the spiritual potency of a Brahmana can burn to ashes the whole family of a whole family of a person who provokes such a Brahmana. Formerly, the Brahmanas used to inject the fire of sacrifice not with matches or any other external fire, but with their powerful mantras called Arani. If someone even touches a Brahmana's property, he is renewed for the three generations. However, if a Brahmana's property is forcibly taken away, the taker's family for 10 generations before him and for 10 generations after him will become subject to renunciation. On the other hand, if someone becomes a Vaishnava or devotee of the Lord, 10 generations of his family before his birth and 10 generations of after will become liberated. Lord Krishna continued, if some foolish king who is puffed up by his wealth, prestige, and power wants to surpass a Brahmana's property, it should be understood that such a king is clearly his path to hell. 1 minute, bro. Okay. He does not know. He does not know how much he has to suffer for such an unwise action. If someone takes away the property of a very liberal Brahmana who is encumbered by a large dependent family, then such a servant is put into the hell known as Kum- Kumbhipaka. Not only is he put into this hell, but his family members also have to accept such a miserable condition of life. A person who takes away property which has neither being awarded to a Brahmana or given away by him he is condemned to live for at least 60,000 years as miserably as an insect in stool. Oh, therefore, I instruct you, all my boys and relatives present here, do not even by mistake take the possessions of a Brahmana and thereby pollute your whole family. If someone even wishes to possess such property, let alone attempt to take it away by force. The duration of his life will be reduced. He will be defeated by his enemy, and after being bereft of all his royal position, when he gives up his body, he will become a serpent. The serpent gives trouble to all other living entities. By dear boys and relatives, I therefore advise you that even if a Brahmana becomes angry with you and all calls you by calls you by ill names or cut you, still you should not retaliate. On the contrary, you should smile, tolerate him, and offer your respects to the Brahmana. You you know very well that even I myself offer my obeisances to the Brahmanas with great respect 3 times daily. You should therefore follow my instructions and example. I shall not forgive anyone who does not follow them, and I shall punish him. You should learn from the example of King Riga that even if someone unknowingly surpasses the property of a Brahmana, he is put into a miserable condition of life. Thus, Lord Krishna, who is always engaged in purifying the conditions of living entities, gave instruction not only to his family members and the inhabitants of Dwarka, but to all the members of human society. After this, the Lord entered his palace. Those ends Bhaktivedanta purport of second volume, 9th chapter of Krishna, the story of King Riga. Haribo.
Ribo. Hare Krishna,
Haribo.
Shivansh Prabhu and Nebahang Prabhu. Dandar Pranam, Jai Shila Prabhupada.
Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Krishna.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Haribo.
Ribo. Oh, Prabhu, you can start this chapter. Nebahang Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu, how many pages are there?
4 pages, Prabhu.
4 pages. Okay, let me switch off. Lord Balaram became very anxious to see his father and mother, Maharaj Nanda and Yashoda, Therefore, he started for Vrindavan on a chariot with great enthusiasm. The inhabitants of Vrindavan had been anxious to see Krishna and Balaram for a very long time. When Lord Balaram returned to Vrindavan, all the cowherd boys and the gopis had grown up, but still on his arrival they all embraced him, and Balaram embraced them in reciprocation. After this, he came before Maharaj Nanda and Yashoda and offered his respectful obeisances unto them. In response, Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj offered their blessings unto him. They addressed him as Jagadishvara, or the Lord of the universe who maintains everyone. The reason for this was that both Krishna and Balaram maintaining all living entities, and yet Nanda and Yashoda were put into such difficulties on account of their absence. Feeling like this, they embraced Balaram and sitting him on their laps, began the perpetual crying, wetting Balaram with their tears. Lord Balaram then offered his respectful obeisances to the elderly cowherd man and accepted the obeisances of the younger cowherd man. Thus, according to the different ages and relationships, Lord Balaram exchanged feelings of friendship with them. He shook he shook hands with those who were his equals in age and friendship, and with loud laughing embraced each one of them. After being received by the cowherd men and boys, the gopis and King Nanda and Yashoda, Lord Balaram sat down, feeling satisfied, and they all surrounded him. First, Lord Balaram inquired from them about their welfare. And then, not having seen him for such a long time, they began to ask him different questions. The inhabitants of Vrindavan had sacrificed everything for Krishna, simply being captivated by the eyes of the Lord because of their great desire to love Krishna. They never desired anything like elevation to the heavenly planets or merging into the effulgence of Balaram to become one with the absolute truth. They were not being interested in enjoying a life of opulence, but were satisfied in living a simple life in the village as cowherd men. They were always absorbed in thoughts of Krishna and did not desire any personal benefits, and they were all so much in love with him that in his absence their voices fluttered when they began to inquire from Balaramji. First, Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai inquired, "My dear Balaram, are our friends like Vasudev and others in their family doing well? Now you and Krishna are grown up, married men with children. In the happiness of family life, do you sometimes remember your poor father and mother?" Prabhu, Lord Krishna was married here on the material plane.
Yes, Prabhu.
Do you know any of his sons or the daughters?
Yes, Prabhu. In previous chapter, in this chapter, in previous chapter they were explained.
Okay, Prabhu.
He had unlimited amount of sons.
Like, don't you know any popular ones that we may know by name?
Yeah, in the last chapter, it was what was the chapter?
Pradyumna.
Yeah, Pradyumna. And who was the? We started with A. Aniruddha.
Krishna himself.
What, Prabhu?
Isn't Pradumna the incarnation of Krishna?
Yes, Prabhu.
Because you remember those prayers, Trivikarmaya Namaha, Pradumnaya Namaha.
Yes, Prabhu. And one is Aniruddha also.
Sorry?
One is Aniruddha also. But he had,
Oh.
limited amount of sons because he had 16,000 wives, and with every wife he had 10 sons. And there was.
Oh. Is
Yes.
it that one of 16,108, something like that?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, so he had 10
Okay,
sons with all the queens and the wives, and he had many unlimited amount of sons.
Oh, yeah, you can go a little bit up. I'm actually there up.
Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, so meaning Pradumna is the well-known one. And
Yes,
Aniruddha.
here it is. Here is all the chieftains and Susena, Charudeshna, Samba. Let's see, Charudeshna. Pradyumna, Charudeshna, Samba. Oh, yeah, these are like prominent ones. But there is so many. You cannot name all the names.
Yes,
Yes,
bro.
Prabhu.
Yes, bro. Okay, we can continue. Where were we?
I can go a little bit up. A little bit up. I think I'll remember. Up.
We read this part.
Yes, mother, father. Yeah, yeah. Your poor father and mother. A
Yes.
little bit up. Yeah, poor father and mother. Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Devi. It is very good news that the most sinful king Kamsa has been killed by you, and that our friends like Vasudev and the others who had been harassed by him have now been relieved. It is also very good news that both you and Krishna defeated Jarasandha and Kalayavana, who now is dead, and that you are now living in a fortified residence in Dwarka. When the gopis arrived, Lord Balaram glanced over them with loving eyes, being overjoyed. The gopis who had so long been mortified on account of Krishna's and Balaram's absence began to ask about the welfare of the two brothers. They specifically asked Balaram whether Krishna was enjoying his life surrounded by the enlightened women of Dwarka. Puri, does he sometimes remember his father Nanda and his mother Yashoda and the other friends with whom he so intimately behaved while he was in Vrindavan? Does Krishna have any plans to come here to see his mother Yashoda? And does he remember us gopis who are now pitiably, is it petitially, Prabhu, how do you pronounce it? Patibali.
You
Piti.
said every possible word.
Pitiably.
Patibali.
You said
It's killing my tongue here.
He's pitiably.
Bereft of pitiably. Bereft of his company. Krishna might have forgotten us in the midst of the cultured women of Dwarka, but as far as we are concerned, we are still remembering him by collecting flowers and sewing them into garlands. When he does not come, however, we simply pass our times by crying. If only he would come here and accept these garlands that we have made. Dear Lord Balaram, descendant of Darshara, is it Dashara? You know that we would give up everything for Krishna's friendship. Even in great distress, one cannot give up the connection of family members, but although it might be impossible for others, we gave up the fathers, mothers, sisters, and relatives without caring at all about our renunciation. Then all of a sudden, Krishna renounced us and went away. He broke off our intimate relationship without any serious consideration and left for a foreign country. But he was so clever and cunning that he manufactured very nice words. He said, "My dear gopis, please do not worry. The service that you have rendered me is impossible for me to repay. After all, we are women, so how could we disbelieve him? Now we can understand that his sweet words were simply for cheating us." Imagine.
See, Prabhu. He said,
Oh,
if you go back to Krishna, then Krishna will go away.
yes, plus he's always going like country after country, Prabhu.
Yes,
You
Prabhu.
want to go? Yeah, what do you call this one? Is it not Goloka, man? Gokula. He was it Gokula first, Dwarka. Now he went to Indraprastha. Is it Indraprastha where Yudhishthir was the king?
Yes, maybe.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, yeah.
Indraprastha.
Yes.
He moves country after country, bro. So if you go to, so what if we go Prabhu to Goloka and then he's not there? Maybe he's in Vaikunta, visiting Vaikunta.
He's always there.
When
But
you reach Vaikunta, Lord Brahma tells you, "Oh, he just left,"
yes, Prabhu.
or he descends back here. But then he's multiverse, right? Like he's everywhere actually.
Yes, Prabhu.
Even in his
This is the
drawing,
this is
everything.
called
Yes.
the Vibralamba.
So yeah, Prabhu, I want to ask you something. So like, let's say you see how Palani Prabhu draws.
Yes,
Can you
Prabhu.
draw Krishna and then use it as like a deity picture, like like in a form of praying, singing it to it?
Yes, Prabhu. But yeah, it's just picture. It's not something. All the pictures, they're just pictures.
Okay,
So
Prabhu.
they're not something like a deity. We don't have like. It's a little bit
Oh,
different.
a picture does not have the same level as a deity.
Yes,
Like let's
Prabhu.
say, oh, okay, Prabhu. Yeah, you can highlight another gopi protesting Krishna's absence from Vrindavan began to say, "My dear Balaramji, we are of course village girls, so Krishna could cheat us in that way. But what about the women of Dwarka? Do not think they are as fools as we are. We village women might be misled by Krishna, but the women in the city of Dwarka are very clever and intelligent." Are they sure? Therefore, I would be surprised if such city women could be misled by Krishna and could believe his words. How do they doubt God, Prabhu? Then another gopi began to speak. "My dear friend," she said, "Krishna is very clever in using words. No one can compete with him in that art. He can manufacture. Prabhu, you know Shakuni?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, he doesn't like, he actually doesn't like Krishna for that. He says Krishna can see every conspiracy he comes with because he's a gambler.
Yeah.
Is very clever in using words. No one can compete with him in that art. He can manufacture such colorful words and talk so sweetly that the heart of any woman would be misled. Besides that, he has perfected the art of smiling very attractively. And by seeing his smile, women become mad become mad after him and would give themselves to him without any hesitation. Another gopi, after hearing this, said, "My dear friends, what is the use in talking about Krishna if you are at at all interested in passing away time by talking? Eh? If you are at all interested in passing away time by talking, let us talk on some subject other than him. If cruel Krishna can pass his time without us, why can't we pass our time without Krishna?" Oh. I think they were inheriting jealousy now, Prabhu, because now Krishna left them.
Yes, they are angry at Krishna.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, but then you can be angry because his energy, Prabhu. When you're around him, I think, yeah, like you actually become good in everything.
Yes, Prabhu. This is their pastime with Krishna.
Yes, yes. Okay, I think if cruel Krishna can pass, okay, Krishna is passing his days very happily without us. But the difference is that we cannot pass our days very happily without him. When the gopis were talking in this way, their feelings for Krishna became more and more intensified, and they were experiencing Krishna smiling, Krishna's words of love, Krishna's attractive features, Krishna's characteristics, and Krishna's embraces. By the force of the aesthetic feelings, it appeared to them that Krishna was personally present and dancing before them because of the sweet remembrance of Krishna. They could not check the tears and they began to cry without consideration.
Yes, Prabhu. See, here is
Prabhu,
the answer that
I
Krishna.
think if, like, oh,
Yes,
yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Here was the answer that Krishna is not away from at any time from their vision, even though if Krishna goes away. Because when they think
Yes,
about Krishna, it's same as seeing him.
seeing him. But I think Krishna needs to leave, like, what can I call it? An incarnation every time where he leaves. He must clone himself and leave the other one and then live with the other body. Because
Yes, Prabhu,
everyone cannot be seeing
but
him.
that's not as high. That's not as high level, uh, like love as in separation. That is the Vipralamba Seva is the most highest kind of attraction. So
Okay, Prabhu.
there needs to be the separation. Otherwise, it's not as high. Because when you're with someone you love, when you're with that person, you're not so worried, you're not thinking about him much. But when he leaves, and,
Oh,
well, I
when
don't
you
gonna
lose
meet,
the-
you're always thinking about him. And
Oh, that's why they like saying in love there's attachment and detachment.
yeah, yeah, this is the
Exactly.
highest
Now
level.
I get it. So that you can actually miss someone and think
Yes,
about him. Okay, now I get it. Lord Balaram could, of course, understand the aesthetic feelings of the gopis, and therefore he wanted to pacify them. He was expected in presenting an appeal and thus treating the gopis very respectfully. He began to narrate the stories of Krishna so tactfully that the gopis became satisfied. In order to keep the gopis in Vrindavan satisfied, Lord Balaram stayed there continually for 2 months, namely the months of, is it Chaitra, March, April, and Vaishaka, April, May. For those 2 months he kept himself among the gopis, and he passed every night with them in the forest of Vrindavan in order to satisfy their desire for conjugal love. Thus, Balaram also enjoyed the rasa dance with the gopis during those 2 months. Since the season was springtime, the breeze of the bank of the Yamuna was blowing very mildly, carrying the aroma of different flowers, especially of the flower known as Kaumudi. Moonlight filled with the sky and spread everywhere, and thus the banks of the Yamuna appeared to be very bright. Is this the last one, Prabhu?
yes, Prabhu. Oh no, two, 1.5 page.
Oh, 1.5. Yeah, it's actually like the last one. And Lord Balaram enjoyed the company of the gopis there. The demigod known as Varuna sent his daughter Varuni, is it Varunia, in the form of liquid honey oozing from the hollows of the trees. Because of this honey, the whole forest became aromatic, and the sweet aroma of the liquid honey, Varuni, captivated Balaramji. Balaramji and all the gopis became very much attracted by the taste of Varuni, and all of them drank it together. While drinking this natural beverage, Varuni, all the gopis chanted the glories of Balaram, Lord Balaram, and Lord Balaram felt very happy as if he had become intoxicated by drinking that Varuni beverage. His eye rolled. So now, Prabhu, since they chant Lord Balaram, did they forget Krishna now?
No, Prabhu. But Krishna and
Oh,
Balaram are non-different.
okay, Prabhu.
But see,
His eye.
there is a type of honey. Sometimes some honey drinks they can also be intoxicating. Here it is said that because they were drinking some kind of honey. But see, there is
Yes,
also
Prabhu.
intoxication there.
Now I see. His eyes rolled in a pleasing attitude. He was decorated with long garlands of forest flowers, and the whole situation appeared to be a great function of happiness because of this transcendental bliss. Lord Balaram smiled beautifully, and the drops of perspiration, is it perspiration, decorating his face appeared to be smoothing morning dew. While Balaram was in that happy mood, he desired to enjoy the company of the gopis in the water of the Yamuna. Therefore, Prabhu, the water of Yamuna, it's like Maya, ne? The where Maya lives, like those snakes or what?
No, 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 bro.
No, Prabhu, Yamuna is pure. There is no Maya
Oh,
in.
Yamuna.
Yes,
Oh,
Prabhu.
Yamuna is pure. What is that river that is called, or is it what?
Yamuna.
Oh, once Yamuna was polluted by Kalya snake.
Oh, so okay, now it became purified.
Yes, Prabhu. When the Kalya snake left Yamuna, because Krishna told Kalya snake that go away, stop polluting.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. Therefore, he called Yamuna to come nearby. But Yamuna neglected the order of Balaramji, considering him to be intoxicated. Lord Balaram became very much displeased at Yamuna's neglecting his order. He immediately wanted to scratch the land near the river with his plowshare. Plowshare. Lord Balaram has two weapons, a plow and a club, and he takes service from them when they are required. this time he wanted to bring the Yamuna by force, and he took the help of his plow. He wanted to punish Yamuna because she did not come in obedience to his order. He addressed Yamuna, "You wretched river, you did not care for my orders. Now I shall teach you a lesson. You did not come to me voluntarily. You need not come to me voluntarily. Slipping my tongue now. Now, with the help of my plow, I shall force you to come. I shall divide you into hundreds of scattered streams." When Yamuna was threatened like this, she became greatly afraid of the power of Balaram and immediately came in person, failing at falling at his lotus feet and pray thus: "My dear Balaram, you are the most powerful personality and you are pleasing to everyone. Unfortunately, I forgot your glorious, exalted positions, but now I have come to my senses, and I remember that you hold all the planetary systems on your head merely by your partial expansions of Shesha. Shesha. You are the sustainer of the whole universe. My dear Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are full of six opulence, but I forget your omnipotency. I have mistakenly disobeyed your order, and thus I have become a great offender. But my dear Lord, please know that I am a surrendered soul unto you. You are very much affectionate to your devotees. Therefore, please excuse my impudence and mistake, and by your causeless mercy, may you now release me. May you now release me. Yes, Prabhu
He
can
was,
go down.
was calling Balaram also as Krishna. They don't address.
Yeah, the opulence. The six opulences Bhagavan, ne?
Yes, Prabhu.
Mm. But Prabhu, it's like Balaram gets very annoyed very fast, like than Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna never gets annoyed, hey? Even if someone is blaspheming.
Hmm. Yes, Prabhu. But usually Balaram is observing what Krishna does. He's just usually Krishna is acting more, and Balaram is arranging.
Oh, Balaram is just watching what he does, and then
They are making
yo, and
some.
also Yudhishthir, Prabhu, Yudhishthir, yo, he very follows the what do you call Dharma. Yo,
Oh,
he
yes.
never fights.
Hare Krishna, Bajahari Prabhu, Dandat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Bahajahari Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Krishna Bajari
Hare
Prabhu, please.
Krishna. Pranam, Jai Slava Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisance. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Aniruddha is grandson, Devranj Prabhu says.
Sorry, Prabhu.
In chat, Shivranj Prabhu says that Aniruddha is not Krishna's son, he's grandson. And
Oh, grandson. Yeah, but grandson is it's like the same as children, but then it's like, yeah, I get it.
oh,
Gra-
and what he says, actually, when we say Pradyumnaya Namaha, we refer to Chaturvya expansion.
Where
Hmm.
does he get these stories, Prabhu, so that I can also go listen to them?
But Prabhu?
Like I was saying, where does Shivaranj Prabhu gets the stories so that I can also go watch? I want to go learn about the Vikarmayana, Vamanayana. Like you see I don't know what to call it. You
Yes.
see, when you pray in the morning, there's that prayer, Om Pradumnayam Namaha, Om Anirudaya Namaha. I want to learn all those incarnations, but not all because I know they are unlimited.
Yes, Prabhu. In teachings of Lord Chaitanya, this is also explained, all this.
Yeah, those mantras you chant while putting tilak. Yeah. In Krishna and
Oh, what is this? See, here is a lot of Krishna's sons.
okay, I want to read in the chat a little bit. I want to see just. I want to copy this.
What you are doing, bro? All gathered in the midnight. I took a nap and again I came. I checked what is going on.
Haribo.
Prabhu's gonna learn all the names of Krishna's sons.
Yesterday I just read all the names, bro. So I just copied and pasted in my personal chat. Now I pasted here.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, really nice because Lebang Prabhu was asking this previously.
No problem. I even copied them to my notes. I wanna go check them out.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay, who's gonna read last page?
Yeah, I'll read it, Prabhu, because since it's half a page.
So, Bajari Prabhu, you can read it.
Okay, bro, I'm doing. Please. Now. Upon displaying this submissive attitude, Yamuna was forgiven. And when she came nearby, Lord Brahma wanted to enjoy the pleasure of swimming within her water, along with the gopis in the same way an elephant enjoy himself along with his many sea elephant. After after a long time, when Lord Brahma had enjoyed to his full satisfaction, he came out of the water, and immediately a goddess of fortune offered him a nice blue garment and a valuable necklace made of gold. After taking bath in the Yamuna, Lord Brahma, dressed in blue garment and Lord and decorated with the golden ornament, looked very attractive to everyone. Lord Brahma's complexion is white, and when he was properly dressed, he looked exactly like the white elephant of the king Indra in the heavenly planet. The river Yamuna still has many small branches due to being scratched by the plowshare of the Lord Brahma, Balarama. Oh, sorry, I'm reading Brahma.
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
sorry. I'm half of the sleep in the sleep only. the the river Yamuna still has the river Yamuna still has many small branches due to being scratched by the plowshare of the Lord Balarama, and all these branches of the river Yamuna are still glorifying the omnipotency of Lord Balarama. Lord Balarama and the gopis enjoyed transcendental pastime together every night for 2 months, and time passed away so quickly that all those nights appeared to be only one night. In the presence of the Lord Balaram, all the gopis and inhabitants of the Vrindavan become as cheerful as they had been before in the presence of both brother Lord Krishna and Lord Balarama. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of the second volume, 10th chapter of the Krishna Lord Balarama visit Vrindavan.
Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, bro, for giving opportunity. Thank you.
Jai Shri Prabhu.
Haribo.
Thank you so much.
Prabhu, I'll be leaving
Really,
in a few minutes.
Oh, yes, Prabhu. Okay, now quickly let's read 6 second prayers. चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमः दावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावादुजीवनम् अनन्तं पदं पदं सर्वत्र
सर्व
विजयते
विजयते
कृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्
नाम नामकारी बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिस्तत्र पिता नियमते स्मरणेन काला एतादर्शी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैव दृशनाम जानीनानुरागः
Trinarapi Kinichana Taro Api Sahesnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sada Hari.
ऐनन्दतनुजा किङ्करं पतितां मां विषमे भवां बुधौ कृपा तव पादपङ्कजा स्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तया
नयनमगलद अश्रुधाराय वदनं गद्गदरुद्धाय गिरा पुलकिर्निशितं वपु कदा तव नाम गृह्णे भविष्यति
Ainanda. Oh, wait. Is it number 6 or 7? Yuga itam nimeshena chakshusha pravisha itam shunya itam jagat sarvam govinda virahe name.
Ishwabhadaratam pinastamam adashnan harmahatam garutu vaya. Tavavidatulam patumatpranamatastasre.
Haribo. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benedictions to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord. Very continue, Prabhu. Vijay Prabhu.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in the humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street, and one should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all the sense of the false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to the others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire to be follow man, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want to possess devotions of this birth of the both.
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal savior, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
Oh Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 year more. Years, tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of the rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain. So even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me, he is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful or unconditionally.
Haribo, Jai Shri Krishna ki
We are,
jai.
we are getting a McLaren Prabhu from Shivaranj.
Yes, Prabhu, he needs to score high scores so we can do.
We can get the
We're
car.
gonna tell the McLaren to get a new temple.
Yes, Prabhu, get saffron color also.
But I
Oh
will
yes.
drive. Bro. I will drive. I know how to drive, bro. I just recently learned.
Yes.
Now we will buy the smallest cheap cars and we buy a temple from there. McLaren is over $1 million for sure.
We can put
Bro,
get them for
are you
put on
sure
the
it is made of metal or made of plastic? Car
we,
is made of
Maybe
plastic
fiber.
or
we
It's
can
made out of fiber, maybe.
we can we can go to the roof and chant from there and drive around.
And drive with full speed. And you chant fast. Hare Krishna, you know.
Yes, Prabhu. The car will also chant. So who knows the 10 offenses?
To bless the first one is to blaspheme to blaspheme the devotees for propagating to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. And then the second one is to
Consider
wait, don't show me. Why did I forget it? And I was reading to consider the names of the demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the names of the Lord Vishnu. To disobey the orders of the spiritual master or thinking him as an ordinary person, to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version, to give some interpretation of the
oh
holy name. Oh, I
Okay.
missed it.
Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, I
2,
missed it. Ne?
5.
Oh, wait, Prabhu. Let me try and think. It's about glories of chanting. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination, to give some
Oh,
interpretation of the holy name, and then yeah, number seven to what do you call this? To consider no, it's about sinful activities. To to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8, 9, 10 ish. I give it to Vivek Prabhu.
River.
To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna to be an auspicious or ritualistic activities, which is like which is offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities.
River.
Karmakand.
Ninth one is to instruct the faithless person about the glories of holy name. And 10th one to to not have like
Complete faith.
what is it? To not have complete faith. Complete to not have complete faith on the holy name even after understanding no. To not have complete faith on the holy name and increasing the material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Even after understanding so many instructions on this matter, inattentive virtue like that is
Yes,
also there.
Prabhu. River. It is
Like
also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who
Hare
claims Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to
achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Paritanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha.
Vaishnava की जाय चला प्रभु की
Ah,
गौर प्रेम
Jai
हरि हरि बोल
Hari Haribo.